snippets. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
reflection is key. Reflection
Oof,
is key.
man.
Yeah.
Yep.
But what you were just talking about, right? Like as you zoom out and you can see those three aspects of yourself and really make the decision in the now, that's huge.
It's huge. It's also huge that like that whole process of going like, oh, there's the old me. She's really freaking out. She
Yeah.
needs to sit down. Oh, here's the new me, just calmly looking at both and the situation. And there's the new me going, I told you it would work out. And look at how good this is, right? Like all of those three people sitting there. What was really interesting is like it only took maybe like an hour. I mean, and this is big stuff, right? Like working a mortgage and like the first time like buying a house with your partner, like this is big stuff.
Yeah.
And so like an hour for me to be like, oh, it's good. No, I'm not responding to his email tonight. I've responded many times. I'll get that in the morning. It's all good. We'll be fine. It'll work out. Like,
Yeah, the broker is not going to tell me what to do.
no. Well, I looked at Skylar at one point and I was like, okay, so like he's working for us.
Right.
You know, like
That part.
I don't have to prove, we don't have to prove anything to him.
No.
Like, remember that. So that's me speaking to myself. Remember that.
Remember that.
Remember that.
You don't need yeah.
Yep.
Um I just hit the record button because we're supposed to record your client spotlight, but they can chop up.
Well, if you have questions you want to ask me, you can
Well,
feel
yeah,
free.
we can yeah, I'll think
I
about
did
that.
fill out my form. I filled out my
Oh, you
client.
did?
Yeah, I submitted it today. It's all nice and filled out and detailed.
Oh, look at you. So fancy schmancy. So, okay, well, we'll do this. Let's do this.
All right.
We'll just do the formal thing for
See, I
them.
was busy doing my like mortgage and I thought I'd get all pretty for this, so I look
I
really
like
good.
it. Okay, let me
But
get
I didn't. This is just I like worked out this morning and haven't showered yet. This is
I
me.
like I like it. I like it. Okay, here's what we'll do because I don't want to I don't want to spoil one of our last sessions in your actual life mastery. So what we'll do is we'll talk. I'll do like the formal thing for like 10 minutes, and then that'll be plenty for them to cut and chop, and then we'll go. I'll turn the record off, and then we can go into.
Okay.
Okay, so Danny, everybody editing. This is Heather's client spotlight. All right, all right. So, hey everybody, I'm Coach Crystal, and one of the things I love to do is talk to my clients about how they've grown through the process, but also just to introduce you to some of the amazing people in our community. Today, we get to talk to Heather Geoffrey, who is an artist, a healer, an executive, a woman who not only creates but sustains vital organizations and people in the world. Heather, you want to
Mm,
introduce yourself?
absolutely. Well, I love how you just introduced me.
Okay, great.
I feel like you did an excellent job. Yeah,
I love it. Oh, and did I say artist? Did I say like
you
amazing
did.
visual
You
artist?
actually
Okay.
did. You actually, yeah, it was actually quite impressive.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Heather, let's jump right in.
Okay.
What has kept you doing this work in this community for almost a year?
Wow. Well, the biggest thing is it works. Like, right? I've seen the growth. Like, it's an undeniable transformation, and so, why not?
Yeah.
Why not do something that feeds your soul and feeds, you know, everything you want to be, your vision. So that's why I keep doing it because I can actually chart it and look and say, look, look. So, yeah.
Yeah. Right. We've had a conversation about looking at the past self, the future self, and the now self, right? And
Yeah.
so the past Heather, future Heather, now Heather, what do they have in common and how do you know they're different?
Mm. Um, so if I think about the past, Heather, right? Like I ended up coming to Life Steps and Stages because, well, two reasons really. One was it was COVID, and in all that happened in 2020, I lost my job as the director of an arts organization. It had to close down.
Mhm.
And so I actually saw that both as what it was, a challenging time and an opportunity. I had a dream for my own business, which I tried to do numerous times before, but I started it. And then I started it and kind of got to this point where I was like, oh, I know how to do this for everybody else, for the artists that I've worked for the organizations I've worked for. I know how to help them with their vision.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was one reason. And the second reason was because I actually had had an opportunity to step back enough in my life to look and say and realize that I had engaged with myself, and everything around me with this kind of programming running that I didn't even realize I had, that there was something wrong with me that I had to fix. I was
Yeah.
always looking for, okay, what do I need to like make better now? What do I need? And I had just this moment of insight where I was like, oh wait, there's something right with me. I'm going to start looking for what's right with me.
Right. Right.
How do I go after what's right? I'm tired of looking at what's wrong. And so that was the second reason I actually ended up coming into life steps and stages with those two things kind of coincided.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the past me is that person who would look for what was wrong and what needed to be fixed, or always had this feeling that, you know, the kind of rug was going to be pulled out from underneath me. I came with a lot of stories that had reason for being there, but I didn't want to carry them forward in the same way. I wanted to reframe them, and I wanted to make them um, part of what I saw as all of the amazing things that made me,
Yeah.
right? And what I could do. That's the me now. Like I can do that. I look at my past and see the challenges and the strengths that came out of those challenges. I feel really clear on my vision, and that vision extends through, it's really holistic, right? It's in all parts of my life. So it's in my health and my well-being. It's in my ability to have money freedom and really look at my vocation. It's in my love. It's in my relationships. That was really super important to me, that it wasn't like my vision isn't just one thing, right?
Yeah.
It's really about a value that spreads across those things. So
Hmm.
the me now, after a year, sees that really clearly. And I know where I'm heading because I'm already there. It's
I
just
love it.
waiting to see. Yeah. And so the future me is this me, but even better. Like just I see it, she's got the boots on that clip walking
Oh
down the
yes,
like
oh yes,
street.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yep.
You got
She
to have
is
a grounding image. You got to have a grounding image, and
you
for
do.
you,
It's
those
really
boots are the
important.
foot. Yes, yes.
Yep.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, yeah. I mean, today she's wearing a sweatshirt. Tomorrow she's wearing the cowboy boots and the shawl, and she's got the yep, that's her.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I
So
see her.
Heather, if you were going to really talk to some people out there who were like, "Why coaching? Why me? What should I be considering, or why should I consider investing in myself this way?"
Yeah.
What would be your advice to them?
Oh, give yourself a gift. It is like one of the great, I mean, and it's, I think some people, I did for a long time, thought of something like this as like selfish, right? Like there was a reason to go get an education. It served a purpose. Like, and I think this can feel like above and beyond what's necessary. And yet it's actually one of the most necessary things I've ever done for myself. And it doesn't just serve me, right? Like that's the bigger thing. Like my relationships are better. The love I have to give and be part of is better. My vocation, my vision, like, yeah, I think what was it I said to you not too long ago where I was like, oh, being alive. I was like, what a difference it is to feel alive in your life as it's happening. And it's not waiting. Like,
Yeah,
don't keep waiting for your life. Like, be in it now. And this was an amazing way
yeah,
to step into my life.
yeah. It's awesome. I mean, watching you grow, watching clients grow is really, the big part of my vision, right? Of watching people get to the fullest, freest, largest capacity of themselves and then say, and now let's do it again, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's know that we can be grateful and still want more. And in that, I think there's some struggle, right? So let's think with the people who are watching, Heather, what's been the hardest part?
Ooh, oof. Um, what's been the hardest part? I think really for me, the hardest part has been letting go or setting down some beliefs that I had about myself, right? It's a practice. I guess that's what I really want to say is like, there's not, I experience this with when I teach art and when I work with artists a lot of times. So I'll use this like, a lot of artists are like, oh, the muse isn't speaking to me. I'm not inspired. And really what I always say is you got to sit down every day and make a place for the muse. Like she doesn't come find you. You go to where she knows she can find you. Like
Yeah,
you got to be in that spot. And I feel that way really about a lot of things. But as far as doing this work, you show up every day and you do the work, right? You make it part of your everyday life. And then it just is life.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like the work you have to do. It's how you're living. And that, I think, was kind of the biggest switch that I had to do in my head, was like, oh, this is not you like playing you in the future. This is you living now. Like you get up and you do the work. And then there's this beautiful thing that happens after a point in time. I think I kept saying to you, I'm learning how to be uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Right. And part of that is like being uncomfortable in growth, being uncomfortable realizing that I'm actually quite amazing. I'm quite lovely. But that takes, like, you have to learn to be comfortable in it. And first you got to be uncomfortable, because that's not the message I think most people are given. Um, so yeah, but it's been all worth it, and it's still worth it. Like, I feel like it hasn't stopped. I don't feel like and now I've arrived, right?
Right,
No.
right.
And now I'm done. No, this feels like, what I feel this does, engaging in coaching and transformation in this way, it keeps you walking the path, right? You don't ever get to a destination, but it keeps you like, the path becomes the destination, and how you walk on the path becomes the destination.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, Heather, right? Like it is a practice, right? And the only goal here is freedom. And the vision opens you to the expansiveness of your awareness. And the goal and the practice is really just to stay awake longer and fall asleep less often so we
Yeah.
don't miss seeing our true selves. So it's obviously for me, it's a pleasure to work with you, but um, to hear you illustrate how you've been tracking your takeaways and really know exactly how you've grown from that reflection of yourself to the vision of yourself is really beautiful. And, it's why I do this work. So thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your journey.
Well, you are welcome. And thank you for like being there from part of my journey.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Thanks so much. If you're interested in any part of our coaching community, you can be right where Heather is sitting. You can join our next Vision Builder cohort, and you can do that by going to stepwithcrystal.com. Talk to you soon. Take the next step to get to the next stage of your life.